What's up, you guys? Welcome back. All right, so just to save time, I pulled the cards in advance. And, you know, I will tell you right off the bat, like, it's just, overall, the energy feels much more decisive, like more positive, like things are moving forward, which I love. I think that that's fabulous. In fact, I've been doing like feng shui. I've been changing my apartment a little bit, opening things up. I got a couch, which like that took me 10 years. But I finally have a comfortable place to lounge, which is so nice because I got the one with like the L, so you can like chill. Anyways, so I'm in that like fall, best weather ever. And just in general, like sometimes you have to move things around. I felt like the apartment needed to be like, it needed like an expansion. You know, I've been talking about that in the cards, but so I moved things and it feels much more open in here and I'm loving it. But I didn't have a big couch, so anyway, do you guys care? Probably not. But you know, it's the vibe. It's like sometimes when you want change in your life, like you need to open things up or you need to change your physical space. I'm home all day, you know, I work from home. So this is my zen den. I need my home to feel super cozy, comfortable, expansive, abundant. That's just me, you know what I mean? It's my surroundings. So this is the energy I'm taking in every day. I want it to feel really good. It affects my entire life, especially my business. So I just felt like it was time for a change. And so far I'm loving it. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling here in the cards. You know, underneath the deck I got the Chariot and Eight of Cups with deep breath. And right away I was feeling like, yeah, we've got the Chariot, the Emperor, the Lovers reversed, and even the Moon was hiding underneath these two cards. So major arcana means major life changes. Right? When we say, and I'm seeing like 4 major arcana in a very small spread. So you know that there are big shifts happening and it's moving towards this emotional fulfillment, but it feels big, which again, deep breath. And right away I was hearing like, you'll need to be grounded. And what's underneath deep breath? It was ground down. So most definitely, yeah, you're going to want to, in this time period, stay really rooted because when change is happening, it can feel like your nervous system, it takes its toll. You know what I mean? You can be more tired than normal. You could feel a little bit spacey. You could feel, yeah, more anxious. So I don't know, I've noticed lately, even like I've been wanting to do a little more yoga, which I don't normally do yoga very often. I do Pilates, but I was like, yeah, I feel like I want to do more yoga. I want to do more grounding. I want to take more walks. So I would highly suggest that. I've also been sleeping more, which, you know, I go through cycles of that where like certain periods I'm like, why am I sleeping so much? But I think just change, you know what I mean? Your body is trying to get on board. So right off the bat, the first cards we've got, which again, it feels very positive. It feels so much more empowered. We're getting the Emperor upright and Pope Joan, the Pontiff of Possibilities. It says, the possibilities are limitless because the soul is limitless. And these are both upright. Even the colors, you know, the reds, the oranges, very autumnal. No, it's feeling empowered. You know, it's giving like sacral chakra, you know, second chakra, third chakra, willpower, courage, fire. And guess what? I pulled to clarify, I got holy fire on top of those two. So this card says, this is talking about breath of fire. Like, you know, the Kundalini practice. It's not just Kundalini, but it's popular in Kundalini. The breath of fire is that diaphragm breathing where you're like pumping your belly. It's not just about arousal. It's also like to charge up your body with life force. You know, in the Magdalene manuscript, I'm pointing, that's where the bookcase used to be, but it's there now. The Magdalene manuscript meditations include some of this in there because you're using your sexual energy as to like for spiritual awakening, you know, to raise your consciousness, but also to like energize your body. So, you know, that's important right now. It's like you need your energy in order to make these big choices. Again, even today I slept in way more than I normally do. I don't normally sleep in very late, but I was like, holy shit, you must need it, you know? You want to make sure that you're energizing in healthy ways, you know what I mean? Staying grounded, but staying energized and being able to hold that, the tension of those two things, you know? So right off the bat, we're getting that. Again, holy fire to me also feels like passion. It feels like following what you're passionate about instead of just doing what you're supposed to be doing. Status quo, you know, kind of like breaking the rules a bit. In the middle here, we've got the Lovers reversed. We've got Ariadne, Mistress of the Labyrinth, and it says, my soul knows the way and the only way out is through. And that's in the reverse. So to clarify those, I got Divine Imperfection. And it's really talking about everything in life is transient, impermanent, and imperfect. But even your body, like if you're having any insecurities lately, or it could be like physical insecurities, it could like aesthetic, it could be feeling energetically a little bit off. It could also be, yeah, like not feeling at home in your body. That's been coming up more than once lately. I'm going to actually clarify this. Let me get one more tarot card here with Lovers reversed. Yeah, Ten of Wands reversed is releasing some burdens. And this is like when you're doing too much. Maybe that's why I'm getting this exhaustion energy. As I said, I've been sleeping a lot lately. And when that happens and I'm not necessarily dealing with a ton of things, like I know that energetically my body's going through things, and then sometimes you just need to process what you're going through. It's not always intellectualized, you know? But anyways, here it's like letting go of maybe some activities. If you've been over scheduled, like you're doing too much physically, like literally doing too much in your day, you might need to, yeah, make some space. Let's get one more. Five of Pentacles. You know, you might be doing too much because you've got some scarcity stuff that you're resolving, like lack. I went through a lot of this because I feel a big part of my path has been to slow down. Like, I mean my life path. And when you're doing less, you know, those fears of scarcity will creep in, especially when you're not used to receiving in a way that doesn't feel like tons of hard work and burdensome and exhausting. And a big part of, I think, my lesson has also been to learn how to receive with more ease. And I'm finding that now it's happening. But it was a practice, you know? That definitely didn't come naturally to me. I felt like I had to work hard for things always. But burnout is real. And also, again, my throat keeps bothering me in these readings. It's like you might need to ask for support in times like when you're not used to it, or learn how to speak up and like ask for what you really need instead of carrying everybody else's stuff, you know, their stress, their issues, doing everything for everyone else and not taking care of you. So let's get one more. Yeah. King of Cups reversed, haunting these readings. It's okay. This okay, King of Cups reversed, Ace of Pentacles, sorry, reversed. There's definitely some money stuff over and over again. It does feel like physical world concerns, you know, like worldly concerns about money, about stability. And, you know, King of Cups reversed can be a person, or it could be an aspect of yourself that's like emotionally, again, feeling out of balance, feeling depressed even. You know, King of Cups, think about like Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer energy, but in the shadow. If you know any people with those signs of that energetic in their natal chart, like, you know, I was saying at the beginning, Cancer, for example, because Chariot represents the sign of Cancer, like Cancer is a cardinal sign. And that's also Capricorn, Libra, and Aries. And by the way, this is Aries, the Emperor's Aries energy. So cardinal energy is movement. It's actually like rapid movement. So Cancer or Aries, for example, in the light attribute would be really balanced and decisive, and oftentimes like, you know, they're not going to just sit around and wallow. Now, if you get a water sign, I have a Scorpio moon, I have a water moon, like, woo, when I'm in the shadow, I get dark. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, actually, Scorpio is not depressive. I think Scorpio has a tendency to be more vengeful and bitter and angry, versus like Cancer or Pisces could definitely go towards depression. Depressive, think of water when it meets earth and it turns into mud. You know, it's like mud energy. And it's okay. Like we go through phases, but this card keeps coming up over and over again. So, and when it's coming with all these other cards reversed, it is feeling a bit like, all right, well, let's ask, how do we resolve this? Because there's definitely concerns here, carrying a lot of burdens, and we're not seeing any other cups cards other than the Eight of Cups moving forward. So, like, how do we resolve this? Why is this King of Cups in reverse? How do we shift this? Oh my God. As I'm saying that, there are no accidents ever in a reading. The battery is dead on my computer. Like, could it be more aligned? I didn't even see that. Yeah, someone's battery is definitely dead and needs to be charged, metaphorically speaking. So you need to charge your batteries, honeys. Let's see. Oh my God. Everything's turning off. Okay. Yeah, definitely. You know, we're getting, how do we resolve this kind of depression energy? Not to take depression lightly. Depression is serious and it sucks. I'm just feeling it. It's feeling like low emotionally, like dragging. Seven of Swords in the reverse to like I'm asking, how do we resolve this emotional issue? Oof, Queen of Swords reversed. Wow. Yeah, you could be, this is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, but in the shadow, very difficult feminine energy. Don't know if that's, like I said, something going on within you mentally, or if it's someone you're dealing with. Oh my God, Tower reversed. This is getting very specific. Okay, and Nine of Wands. Wow. And the Moon. There's some shit that needs to come into the light here. It's definitely hidden still. And it is like the pot is boileth over. You know, it's feeling like it's about, you know, those pressure cookers. My dad still uses one, if you can believe it. To cook his mashed potatoes and his carrot soup. But yeah, it's feeling like a pressure cooker. It feels like that energy of so many emotions bottled up and repressed. But we've got holy fire and the Emperor upright. Like, it's boiling, but it's about to blow. And not blow in a good way. Like, it's like, do you see how the guy is looking like the wounded war? I call this card my wounded warrior card because he's looking at these other cards exhausted. He has a bandage on his head. He's like holding himself up with the wand. He's been through it. Like, the guy on this card has been through the war. He's been through a lot of struggles, a lot of stress. And he's kind of looking at this like, are you fucking serious? Like, it's like this issue needs to be dealt with, whatever is going on with this. Now, this could be, like I said, a person that is very angry. Like, very angry. Queen of Swords reversed to me is just very like cold and callous and spiteful. So, you know, again, do we all have the ability to go to these places? Of course we do. Like I said, I have a Scorpio moon. It can get really ugly. And that's why I have to meditate and I have self-care, because I would be really like kind of probably awful if I didn't take care of those things, because I go to that place really quickly. But if you're dealing with a person who is very angry, but it's like something needs to come into the light, and Seven of Swords in the reverse are like, sometimes that's like deception, or some type of secrets that I feel have not come out. So maybe somewhat. The Tower reversed is like this big change wants to happen, but it's not happening yet. And it's causing this emotional, again, this like big dip. It's just feeling like, yeah, it looks like a ditch, like I'm seeing in my mind's eye. Like if you're like on the side of the road and you look into like a ditch and it's all like murky and muddy and unpleasant, kind of foul. Let's get an oracle card on that. Seven of Swords, because we're asking like, how do we resolve this depressive energy? You've got to deal with something, and you probably got to deal with a difficult situation, potentially with like where there have been secrets or things hidden, where there's going to be things revealed that this person most certainly is not going to like. Or if it isn't a person, then it's something you need to like reveal maybe to yourself, or like, you know how I said in the beginning, like I opened up my space, like I created an expansion. This just feels like something's got to come out into the open, but like it's not going to be pleasant. So yeah, we're getting the Divine Mother. Unconditional love exists within me. The presence of love is the absence of judgment. You know, Queen of Swords reverse can be very judgmental, very critical, but Queen of Swords reverse to me is cold and cutting and, yeah, like vengeful. Whoever's going through this, I feel for you. But the presence of love is the absence of judgment. Like, you have to do something difficult. It says the only way out is through, and it's reversed. And it says underneath, like, I see the light in my own darkness. I face my ego beliefs to feel free. So there's definitely, you've got to do this in a way that is loving, but understand that, like, love is not always gentle. Like, sometimes love feels fierce. And when someone is fighting a change, like, let's just say, like, you're both, if it's like a decision and there's two people involved, like, you're both fighting it, but I feel like one of the people is feeling really, like, this person feels very low, depressed emotionally, depressed, repressed, suppressed, all of the above. And this person is like harboring a lot of, it's two mental energies, you know, it's that air energy next to each other, and the Tower gives me that feeling of like, is harboring a lot of like suppressed thoughts as well, but maybe the other party isn't feeling quite as depressive and is feeling a little bit more like spicier, you know what I mean? Okay. And as I said, the Nine of Wands, looking at all of this, like, when you complete this, the last card is the Ten of Wands reversed. The cycle completes itself, but something's got to come out into the air. Let's continue. Let's keep going, because here we're getting, once again, this like reputation, kind of like loss of reputation, like something like not being perceived in a great light. With there's only now, and on here it says, a stressful inner monologue is understandable, especially when you're uncomfortable. But if you're not doing something about it, you're giving away your power and dampening your pleasure. Would you want to see a loved one deny their own birthright? See yours the same way. Dance, sing, smell a flower, be in the now. Gift yourself presence. It says, yesterday was heavy, put it down. Grabbing onto the past or tripping out about the future is like putting your consciousness on a rocket ship and blasting it out of the present moment. And the present moment is all we have. It's where passion lives. And so it's like you have to let your passion lead you, but there is a stressful thing that, like, there's a burden that you've been carrying that when you put it down finally, you're going to start to feel better. But it's like other people are going to be pissed about it. It's just the same message, you guys, over and over. Until this gets dealt with, I feel like this is what's going to come up in our readings. If there's something that you need to say to somebody, you need to really contemplate on the most loving way. Again, just because it's like I've said things that came from love, but it wasn't delivered in a way that the person necessarily liked because they didn't want to hear it. But that doesn't mean that it was mean, because when you're coming from love, you're trying to do what's best for everyone involved. You're trying to do what's in the highest good of everybody. But love can feel like a soft hug, and love can feel like a sledgehammer over the head. It depends on the kind of truth that needs to be delivered. Sometimes people just are resisting the truth. And when you resist the truth, or you resist the change, then it might feel like a hammer. It might feel like you're getting stabbed in the back. But like, are you? Or is it really just the truth that needed to be illuminated? Because it's saying, everything happens for my liberation. I choose to become only more love. The goddess of never not broken. And this card was in the reverse, and it is saying, like, your heart is not breaking because it's broken. It's breaking open. Like, your heart doesn't want to break. It wants to break open to love more. And a lot of times we learn how to love through challenges. Like, people talk all the time on my channel about feeling betrayed. I know, I've been there. But guess what? It doesn't mean you hate the person or the people involved. It means it sucks in the moment, and then you have to understand that that was liberating you somehow. To open up to something different, to something better, to a higher quality experience, you know? A lot of people on my channel dealt with, like I was talking about third-party energy the other day. Lots of people have dealt with that. You know, you can transform it in a way that's loving. You might even be able to transform it with the people that you're struggling in it with. But what you can't do is carry the resentment. You can't carry all that anger with you. You have to understand this situation happened to liberate me from something. Maybe you didn't love yourself enough. You didn't have high enough standards. You were settling. Well, when somebody quote unquote betrays you or leaves you or whatever, it opens up the space for you to have a new experience. And if you end up having a better experience with that person later, great, but integrate the lesson that it needed to happen for. Like, I've been quote unquote abandoned, we'll just call it that. And it forced me to show up for myself. And now that I do that, I don't attract people that like ghost me. And that's great, you know, but like we've all got to learn the lesson. So we've all got to go through it. And sometimes you just have to walk through the fire, you know, and this is feeling like there is no way out but through. So let's pull like one more advice card here, because I feel like this kind of Queen of Swords, Tower, Seven of Swords, advice. The poet, the poetess. I love every inch of my body and I love the women in my life fiercely. That's interesting because it's in the reverse. I love the women in my life fiercely. I wonder, you know, because the other card is the Divine Mother that came up right as the advice. Unconditional love exists. Within me, the presence of love is the absence of judgment. There could be some difficult women, you know, something you're healing around the mother / feminine energy in your world. Just clarify that. Kali again, upright. The mother of the universe, another mother card. I release all that doesn't serve me. It's time to be the truth of who I am. This is what's going on with this. Like, it's time to be the truth of who you are. You know, you may not love every woman in your life fiercely, or maybe this is part of the reason why you're not feeling good in your body. Like, I don't know. There's something going on with the body because it came up in a few of the cards. But this feels like the Kali situation. It's like this Tower moment. Whoops. Look, it's two people flying out of the tower. The lightning is hitting. It's on fire. The smoke is coming out the windows. Like, it's going to be that type of change, unfortunately. This has to happen sometimes. It feels scary. It feels, yeah, like I'm even having trouble finding the words in this reading. But trust me, after the chaos is the calm, you know, but you have to go through that moment first. What else do I want to say here? Kali comes in, like I said, like a sledgehammer. She's like the knife. She's holding a sword, just like the Queen of Swords. Cuts right through the bullshit, cuts right through the illusion, cuts through the deception, cuts through the lies, cuts through all of this stuff. And it's upright. That's great. You're on the verge. I almost feel like there's not much you're going to have to say. It's like the one thing this other person might not want to hear. You both already know this, so. This is not going to be a surprise. It might be a shock, but it won't be a surprise. Intuitively, everybody involved in this situation knows the truth. You all know it, but it's like no one's saying it. La, la, la. We're all kind of like dancing around, tap dancing around the truth. You both know the truth. People here know the truth. It's already here in the cards. It's present. Even Seven of Swords reversed is saying something has already kind of slipped out. Like, there is truth that's been revealed, an uncomfortable truth or some deception or something like that. Something that was hidden is revealed. If it were in the upright, I would say it's still happening. In the reverse, it's like it's already kind of come out, but the change hasn't happened. The final blow, I want to say. Did I say blow in the beginning? Or did I record that earlier? It was like, I think I did say, I don't know. I might be wrong. I don't know if I said it in this reading or before, because I was recording before and I had to stop the recording. Final blow. Oh, wasn't I saying it's like a pressure cooker about to blow? All the stuff about blow. Anyways, yeah, it's time to just tell the effing truth, man. It's just time. It's hard. I get it. It's not funny. I know when you're going through something this difficult, it's actually not funny. I'm laughing because I've been through so many shitty things that I know that on the other side of these super uncomfortable, super difficult moments is liberation, and it's saying you're here to be liberated. I'm just gonna pull one tarot card before I finish on this poetess in the reverse. Why? Yeah, Ten of Cups reversed. I love all the women in my life fiercely, except when I don't. It's that unhappy family card, you know? It's like you're not happy emotionally. You might have pretended to love a woman or women. And look, there's a man and a wife and 2 kids in the card dancing, but it's reversed. I said it. I'm like, maybe there are women in your life you don't love fiercely, and this is part of the issue, that it's okay that you might have chosen women or had an issue with women, difficult women in your life. But yeah, when the universe is trying to hand you something new, like, don't miss out on another opportunity. Like, this guy's got his arms closed because he's like not open to receive, and the universe is trying to give this emotional blessing, and it's like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. But then if you continue to choose things that end up like this, emotionally distorted, like, there's an emotional openness that needs to happen. Yeah, and judgment reversed is just like the tower reversed. There's a resistance to the truth coming out. The judgment is all about truth. It's the angels blowing that horn of truth, and the people are with their arms open to it. Like, we're ready to receive the truth because we know that the card after this is the world, the end of a cycle. But this is the card right before the major arcana finishes. It's 20. 21 is the world, and then it's a new cycle. But this is in the reverse. It's not easy. It will be abrupt. Like, it will change. Like, it's a destiny point. That's what I'm seeing. And it's a crossroads. And when you make a choice like this, I'll just cut the deck. Oh my God. You heard it here first, folks. The Fool. I just said it. This is the new cycle. You're 2 cards away. You're the Judgment, then the World, then this. The new cycle upright. Like, it's right. Oh, look. And there's that BDE underneath. Ace of Wands underneath it. Speaking of getting blown or whatever, like, could happen if you make a change. Yeah, it's big sexual, passionate energy. We got Holy Fire, the Emperor. Like, there's a lot of positivity here, but your new cycle isn't coming into deal with this final blow. The final blow could be to someone's ego, It could just be the thing they don't want to hear that they already know is true. But it's like the bubble's got to be burst for you to be free. I'm just putting it out there the way that I'm hearing it. So, Judgment Day, it will be hovering over you like a black cloud of this depressive energy until you face the truth, This King of Cups keeps coming in the reverse. And that Queen of Swords has already come up a few times too. So, along with Kali, this isn't the first time we see her lately. Deliver the blow. Trust the process. When you're in integrity and you do something like that and it's really hard, and maybe you blow, someone else's ego is going to feel like they're taking a blow. You're liberating them too. I know it doesn't feel this way. I've talked about it before when I got a divorce, and I cared about that person enough to be like, I cared about that person, but I knew we were not meant to be married. And it's just like, if I don't do it, no one's going to do it. So I have to do it, and it's going to be hard. And then this person will be grateful later. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but I think they'll be grateful because I'm not tying them up, I'm not holding them hostage in this unhealthy situation. Even if they would stay willingly, but they would secretly resent and hate me and be miserable silently. Like, why do we want that? If you really care about somebody, set them free. Maybe they'd say, well, I don't want you to set me free. And it's like, well, you may not know what's good for you right now, but I know what's better for me. That's kind of how I felt. It was like, you think you want me to stay here, but you don't. You just don't want the change. But we're doing it, And thankfully, for me, it worked out. It doesn't always work out in an amicable way for people, but trust me, if you really love someone, you don't keep them stuck with you. If you really love someone, you're like, again, the card said, the presence of unconditional love is the absence of judgment. Sometimes someone doesn't want to hear it, and it's like, why would you want to cling to a situation with a person that doesn't want to be there with you? It's like if you're in an unhappy marriage, 10 of Cups reversed, and the person's like, no, I don't want you to leave me. It's like, why would you cling to a person that like doesn't feel the same way about you? Don't you think you deserve to be loved? Like, why would you cling to something when it's not like it's not mutual? I said that to my person too. It's like, why would you stay with a person if they don't want to be here? Free yourself so that you can be chosen by someone who genuinely wants to choose. All right, you guys, good luck with this. We'll see what comes up in the next one. Love you. If you want a personal reading, I have 90-minute sessions. Link is below. Otherwise, I will see you guys soon in the next one. Take care.